5 butts, 5 new butts, 5 thong butts.
It's time to take A Therapeutic Dose, a prescription-strength reality TV podcast that explores the intersection of reality TV and therapy. Possible side effects may include entertainment, strong emotional reactions, and/or laughter. Here are your hosts, Ramona Ramirez and Margee McGee.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to A Therapeutic Dose, where we meet at the intersection of reality TV and therapy. I am Margee McGee, and with me, as always, is my dear friend and co-host.
Hello, I am Ramona Ramirez Higgins, and I'm very happy to see you. And if I may, we just had this intense conversation. And then when you come in and do the intro, you're like, hello. And I'm like, I love it.
Can you tell I've been
no one would
pitching
know
today?
What's that?
I've been pitching today. So it's high speed, upbeat, I'm in that mode.
Yeah.
No, and Ramona, you are freshly showered and emerging from underneath the depression kitty,
Bruh.
showing up, as they say, doing the deal in spite of what you think or feel. Like you're here and you're clean.
Mm-hmm.
These are huge victories for anyone who
Massive.
suffers with depression or anxiety of any kind. These are huge victories to be celebrated. And yeah.
Thank you, friend. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I will take it. I will take it.
Good.
Every time I have a dip in mood, depression kitty comes to visit and just won't get the fuck off. When Margee and I talk about the depression kitty, we're talking about the most voluptuous, velvety, seductive, animated cat of all time, courtesy of, I believe that Jean Smart still does the voice. The depression kitty is on Big Mouth. Can't recommend that series enough. Yes, on Netflix.
So good.
It's just 10 out of 10, man. No notes. The minute she entered the series and the minute you and I talked about it, I've never seen a more perfect manifestation of what it's like. The depression kitty in Big Mouth shows up for a teenage girl. So much of the thoughts that go through my day, I often still feel like I'm having teenage girl reactions to things. And so the depression kitty it works for me just like it works for Jessie, who's probably 14 or 15 on this show. And I am not 14 or 15. I am significantly older. My point is that I'm so grateful for that character because the depression kitty she's stunning. The minute she wraps herself around you that it feels good. And I am not saying that depression is beautiful or feels good, but the seduction, you can't help but surrender to it. She cloaks you and envelops you, and you are powerless to it. That's what I was trying to say. That's where I was eventually going to get. So I'm ever grateful for the depression kitty to give me, dude, there's nothing I can fucking do. There's nothing I can do. You're powerless. You're powerless. I'm powerless over it. I think that this was kicked off by a few things, one of them being my birthday. And then, when I saw my friends a few weeks ago, I'm reminded that I am far away from the nucleus of my friend groups and my family groups. And as someone who a lot of my needs are met from my friendships, the people I went to Palm Springs with, I've known them since I was a sophomore in high school. And then I met the other one when I was 20. I've known these women for over half my life. I have not lived in the same city as my best friends in the whole wide world since 2011. I have not lived in the same city as my family since 2011. Obviously, Josh and Leo are my family, but Josh is a recent addition. Leo's an even more recent addition. Does that make sense? I hope I don't sound callous. I'm really not trying to. Okay. It's like these people are part of my soul and my genetic makeup at this point. And when I am removed from whatever situation in which I see them, it hits me real hard, sometimes sooner, sometimes not so soon. And there are other things that are like up in the air right now that I can't predict or control. And whatever. It doesn't have to be a perfect storm anyway. It just fucking is my brain chemistry. It just is. I don't anticipate that will be the last one, but I will say that they get easier to come out of. I practice more and more letting go of the judgment and the self-hatred around it when it comes up and just takes me by surprise and what it looks like. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, no, I think everything you said is so relatable. Like my friends and family affect my body chemistry. Like when I go for long periods of time without seeing them, I feel different and incomplete. And then when I get to see my friends and family who are long distance, some rush of wholeness returns to me that like is so profound. And I appreciate it. I've learned to appreciate it so much. And I've learned to, as they talk about in 12-step rooms, to prepare myself for re-entry when I come back to my regular life. What I find so amazing about the Depression Kitty's introduction on that show is that she starts off as kind of like a cozy gravity blanket, but then she releases the full heft of her weight and she's a crushing beast of a creature. But you don't realize it's happening because it's cozy at first. That line is it's razor thin, where it goes from being me just curling up in a couch corner going like, I miss my friends, to me being like, you're not where you belong. You should be different. You should, like it's all crazy. The walls close in without me noticing, and then I'm in it. And then it just takes a while to get out of it. And then every shower is a celebration. Every meal eaten off a plate is a celebration. Every phone call or text message is a celebration. And then like the path takes shape again. The vegetation starts to grow up around it again, and life becomes something recognizable again. But it's a life cycle for me of like my depression, I recognize it faster now. And it's not as scary now because I've gone through so many freaking cycles of it that I'm like, ugh, I know this ends, but this part sucks.
Yeah, dude. Yes. Yeah, that is such, yes. There's a thin line. And the point about re-entry, I forget. And I need to be prepared. I also, if I look back historically, at least since I think I moved to the Bay Area, I don't even know. That's just my most recent memory. Yeah, my birthday kicks off some funky thing. I need to be prepared for an emotional dip after my birthday for some reason. That's just been what is in the last few years, at least, that I can remember. And for sure, I should absolutely prepare for a reentry, emotional reentry. When my friends visit me here, I go there. I go to my family. They come here. It just is. My hair is brown. My eyes are brown. I have an emotional dip after spending time with the people that are in the nucleus of my soul. So, yeah, how many times can I say that over and over?
Listen, but it's important to like, that's the thing is I forget every time because the joy and the high of being with people and feeling like my whole complete self, being around people who I don't have to explain myself to, who just get me, who laugh or shrug me off when I'm taking the joke too far, what I mean? Where I don't have to like, it's just, there's something so special about that I don't want to prepare to feel tender on the other side of it. I don't want to. I feel so strong and empowered and seen, and I don't want to go home and be like, now Margee, put yourself to bed early on a full stomach because you've had an emotional, it's like,
Right.
who wants to be an adult and do that crap?
I know. And the thing is that like nothing can
Right.
soothe that pain.
And it's not even pain. It's like nostalgia or longing or something.
Yeah. It's
that my body's like, you know what? Let's just click this over into depression. We're good at that. And I'm like, no.
It is that I am not, how do I say this? How do I describe this feeling? It's either that or it's not. So nothing I do is going to fill it. There is a puzzle piece that I I put it in and then it's taken out. And then it'll be put in and then it'll be taken out. And no other piece fits in it. And so there have been times when I have felt so lonely. And I think that's why I look so forward to us doing this every week, is because I have a guaranteed 2 hours, more or less, to talk with my sister from another mother, and have deep conversations. Like, you get me, I get you. It's part of time that we have under our belt as friends. It's part of shared experiences, relating, consistently getting vulnerable over and over again in like stage after stage after stage of life, ups and downs, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And that nourishes me more than anything. I was talking with Josh earlier today. We had a couples counseling session and this came up. I liked my makeup artist job when I was in LA, but the other job I had, it was a means to an end. I got to make rent money and buy gas and go out to eat and buy clothes every once in a while. I was fully self-supporting with that job. They gave me the freedom to go on auditions. They were very generous with stuff like that. Benefits, it met a lot of needs. One of the biggest ones it met, I was able to be social every single day. And new motherhood, living in San Francisco, even in the neighborhood we were in, like everything felt stacked against what's natural for me, what is in my nature. And I feel like I've been like kind of like struggling to get back to that ever since I left LA, when I, closed the door on my Silver Lake apartment for the last time before I moved in with my husband. Fucking psyched, so stoked to be engaged to like the man of my dreams and then some. I'd still have that apartment if I could. I'd still fucking have it. I think about it every single day. I know it represents a life that I found a lot of joy in and lived in a space I felt so much joy in a time. And I also lived 2 miles or less from my sister and my mother. So I haven't had that kind of emotional stability, and I haven't felt anchored in those ways since I moved 14 years ago. I have bits and pieces. I have moments, but something sustained that I can count on every day that I take for granted? No. And it gets clearer and clearer, like, especially in the last couple of years, like, oh, I'm fucking lonely. Like, I can name it. I can name what that struggle is. It's loneliness. It's loneliness. It's being away from the people that know you since you were a fucking child. Let's be fair. My mother, my sister's best friends that I spent a lot of time with, and my best friends that my sister and my mother spent a lot of time with. Like, we all grew up together, and then I left and they left. People leave and they start new transitions, as we all should. But not even it's just, I'm grateful to identify the feeling now. I'm grateful to identify it now. My husband gets his needs met through work. My husband gets his needs met through his family. And while I definitely get creative needs met with you and me doing this, and in other things, my core needs are met with my relationships, especially like the older I get. It's just more information as to why the depression kitty came in that fucking cat flap, plopped herself down. She didn't even have no fucking kitty litter on her paws. She was clean. She came in shiny. She wasn't licking herself in the middle of the night. No hairballs. Just great. Just comforting.
Yeah, man, it's real. It's real.
Yeah.
And like, I think the challenging thing is there's nothing to do to like fix it. Like,
Yeah.
nothing is the matter because you feel lonely. It's that
Yes.
whole thing of like, that's that puzzle piece, that big love puzzle piece, and you have lots of them that make you up. But that one, when it's pulled away, I don't know, it's like having road rash. It's not going to kill me, but it's like I'm aware of it kind of constantly gently aware of it. And then I get really used to it. And then it goes away. And then I'm like, oh my God, this feels so good. And then
Yeah.
it has to come back. And it's just a little, oh, what do the kids say? Life be lifin'.
Life be lifin'.
Isn't that what that is?
Yep.
Life is lifin'.
Life is lifin'. Life lifes. And the older you get, well, you know what? I don't fucking know. It just shifts. It just shifts. Nothing is static. And if it was, my God, then I've got a real problem. That's what I don't want.
Well, and
That's
it's
what I
not
don't
real.
want.
Like that,
Yeah.
like I think that's my problem is I keep looking to like lock everything in place and get it right for once and for all, Margie. And it's like, that is not how life works. I live in Los Angeles where, we've gone from like fires in the course of a year. We've had like insane fires and crazy political activity. And like, please, the second I think I'm going to lock things into place and everything's going to just like settle down, finally, I'll figure it out. That's madness. So aren't I cute when I think like that? Aren't I,
We're
darling?
so cute and we're so human.
So cute. Yes.
God bless.
God bless.
God bless the both of us. And God bless these women. God bless the women in season 6, episode 7 of The Real Housewives of Miami. This episode they titled Textual Tension. I just rolled my eyes. No one can hear it, but I did. Listen, what the fuck? You know what? No, I shouldn't roll my eyes. No one asked me to write the
funny. I
titles.
like
What
it.
would I have called it?
Listen, I like it. Maybe it's because it's late, but I'm like, that's funny. Like
Yeah.
sexual tension. I get it.
Yeah,
I'm smart.
exactly.
I
Exactly.
understand. Well, and it sure does pay off. Jesus Christ.
I have a smug look on my face right now. Smug for
I-
Guerdy. I know. We'll get there. I know.
It's just
I wrote
perpetuating
that
the
down. I'm
dumbest
like-
shit. This is why the Cosmic Scoreboard is stupid. Because now that's how you want to spend your life and your energy. Okay. Because I don't know, did you pause your screen to read any of the texts? They
I
were
did
so
not.
bland and they're so boring. It
little
was
bit.
amazing. It was amazing. There was absolutely zero salacious. And I should have known that because otherwise they would have blown up the text for us to look at. But I was like, ooh, I'm going to see what they said. And I'm like, oh, it's a conversation between two ladies, one of whom missed a dinner invitation and the other of whom was like lightly apologetic for that. Is Captain Sandy, are we really that pressed about missing dinner with Captain Sandy? Anyways. I mean, obviously it's deeper than that. It's not about the pasta,
It's not about the pasta, but at the same time, I related a lot to Guerdy and her need to do this. I'm not going to do it, but I
Yes.
did understand the need.
I relate to the impulse. I was
Yes.
surprised at the follow through. I was like, well, but she said it. It's her party. She can do what she wants. And
Yep.
she sure did. But we do start with the only sympathetic moment Julia and Martina may offer us this season, because holy crap, those boys are darling.
Precious.
Oh my God. We are introduced to Luca and Jackson, the cutest little boys that Julia and Martina have adopted or in the process of adopting, I guess. They're at the farm with goats. The little one was like reaching for Martina. I mean, I was like, I don't know what was happening with me, but I was like, I want this scene to last the entire hour. It was so cute.
I loved it. My heart burst as well when little Luca was up there playing goat and he reached for Martina. And I loathe this woman. I will talk about why I loathe this woman as we continue talking through this episode. But in that moment, it was more about Luca than it was about my justifiable rage at Martina Navratilova. And
And
really,
she was really sweet with him. Like she's
Very.
actually like, I didn't expect her to be so patient. She kind of comes to life with kids,
that's
like-
what Julia said. Yeah.
Yeah. It
I
was
really, again,
nice
and
to see.
I'm so fearful. Like, I really hope that what we see on camera is also what's happening behind closed doors. And I'm so fucking hypervigilant. I was looking at their faces. I was looking at their faces in like looking for their reactions to the adults' behaviors around them. When Jackson dropped the egg, I like dialed into Julia's tone of voice. I dialed into his body language. I think everything was fine. I think everyone just does what happens whenever you break anything, I really hope that if that happened without cameras rolling, that it would be a similar reaction. Am I projecting? 100%. But this is what I do
Yeah.
with kids.
Yeah. But kids don't fake it. Like I'm with you. When I saw the little one reach for Martina, I was like, "Ooh, they're safe." When I was a little kid, if I sensed danger, I shut down and closed off. You wouldn't see me reach any direction, and I would not be relaxed enough to walk a goat on a leash, say. And when he dropped the egg, he just sort of walked on like any 1-year-old would or 3-year-old, whichever one dropped it, you know?
The 3-year-old did.
Yeah. But he
Yeah.
didn't look around to be like, you know?
Yeah. I made a point to not project and not to make up things that I was thinking I was see. I wasn't even thinking like that. I was just tuned in to the reaction of two little boys coming from where they've come from, their emotional journey in their teeny tiny microscopic short lives and what they've already experienced. And that's all I cared about. And it warmed my heart to see Martina, her behavior with these boys, especially Luca. When he reached for her, my heart felt relieved and
Oh,
glad.
so cute.
I really loved that Adriana dressed like a crayon to
She said
see.
like a school kid crayon, so
Yeah,
they'll like me.
so they'll
I was like,
like me.
what?
And it did sound clunky and it did sound, let's be honest, it sounded weird coming from her mouth, but I think she was coming from a place of, will this be interesting to them? So I liked that she was mindful of what they might like. Maybe it wasn't even that deep, but I really appreciated it so much when she asked, is it okay if I get close to them? It showed respect for Luca as an equal, and at least where kids are concerned, like mindfulness of boundaries. I wish that she had asked Luca instead of the grown-ups. That's my only note. I understood where she was coming from. Maybe she should ask Luca after she asks the, yeah, that makes sense. Like, I wouldn't want someone to just walk in and grab my newborn baby. My point is, I appreciated that Adriana had boundaries. I've probably said this before. I never made Leo do the stuff that I was dictated to do. Give so-and-so a kiss and a hug. I fucking refused to do that with my kid. I respected his personhood, and he couldn't speak, and he couldn't come up to my fucking calf on my body, but he was my equal. And his needs, his body autonomy are just as important as mine. We told him everything we were going to do before we did it. I'm going to pick you up. I'm going to put you down. I'm going to change your diaper. He wasn't just along for the fucking ride. He was strapped in next to me, taking up as much room as me, metaphorically. And I got that vibe from Adriana. Am I projecting? Absolutely. Do I give a fuck that I'm projecting? No. I was just glad I had something to project onto in a positive way.
Yes,
You know?
that's what these shows are for. But I'm with you. I think it was really sweet that she put thought into her outfit and chose like bright colors. And Julia in that last episode or one of these episodes had mentioned that the boys, she wasn't having people meet them because it was startling them. They were freezing up. So I think Adriana, at least it showed that she's been listening to how they've been adjusting and she wants to accommodate whatever makes them comfortable right now. It's really hard. Like, babies are so cute. Kids are so cute. At least for me, I have to remind myself they're here for the long haul. On my first meeting with someone's adorable child, they say, with dogs and babies, let them come to you. And I've really put that into practice. And I appreciated Alexia not Alexia, Adriana verbalizing that. However, Alexia was darling too. She too showed up in her Miss Rachel colors and her donuts and swinging babies all around. I loved seeing these ladies with young kids.
I mean, when Alexia came in, and for as much criticism as I have of Alexia, this and every season before it, there is something about a Latina Tia. And watching her refer to herself as Tia, it made me happy and it made me sad. It made me nostalgic. It made me miss my own aunt who didn't go by Tia. She was my aunt. we didn't speak Spanish. So like, she did. My dad did, but I don't know if they learned even as children. My point is that like it didn't go like that. But in my extended family, I heard the word. In the extended family, I referred to other people as tia. The way the word sounded coming out of a woman's mouth who speaks Spanish enough that her English, that she speaks Spanish, like the accent. And when he reached out, when Jackson like reached his little arms out to hug her, it brings my heart ease to see how much love there is from so many adult sources. I hope, I pray that their journey, their path on the way to trust and feeling relaxed, like they can exhale, it feels like they've got a chance because again, for Adriana's faults, for Julia's faults, Martina TBD, Alexia's faults, I get the sense that they love these children. These children deserve love from safe sources. The kids are not grown up. They're little kids. And there's something about a little kid that makes the best in you come out. Hopefully.
I think
Ideally.
that's what's hopeful about children is like, look at all of these women who we could shred 20 different directions, but you put two tiny sweethearts in the mix and every last one of them, the whole energy in that kitchen, it's sort of what you were talking about missing your family. The energy in that kitchen is what I love. Like all of my family members, myself included, we're all extremely flawed. But you put us together, and certainly to celebrate like a new family member entering the pack, it's just that. It's like joy, and it's that feeling of like, I loved you before I met you. And I even love the dynamic between the aunties. They both wore neon, the neon tias. And they, Adriana's like, well, because Alexia showed up with donuts, which of course the kids like dove into immediately. And Adriana was like, well, I don't come bearing gifts. I present a heart full of love and I'll be there whenever they need me. It's just like, there's something hopeful about adults' desire to be loved and acknowledged and appreciated by kids, because you're right. The way to be loved and acknowledged and appreciated by kids is to be honest, gentle, available, fun. You know what I mean? It's the best qualities that get you what you want in those circumstances. So this scene just,
Agreed.
filled my whole heart until Karamo called, and I can't stand Karamo, so then it came crashing down.
Yeah, I have notes too. I don't know if you noticed, did you clock Martina's face looking at the box of donuts that Alexia brought?
No, I did not.
She wasn't
because I was
pleased.
looking at the box of donuts.
She wasn't fucking pleased. She raised her eyebrows in a passive-aggressive way, and then her face just looked mad. It wasn't even passive-aggressive. Point, Alexia, she asked, can I get a kiss? Not give me a kiss. Can I get a kiss? Love it. Love it, love it, love it. So,
and then Karamo FaceTime. So this is Karamo from Queer Eye. He's Julia's friend and an LGBTQ activist who's going to be in Miami to be honored by the National LGBTQ Task Force. And he invites Julia and later all the women to join him at this event. And I just find him, I do not connect to him in any way. I've watched I love that show. And I just feel this weird, it just feels Tony Robbins-y to me. I cannot connect. It feels like there's something genuine underneath it, but the performance element is always the most important. And that's a Margee McGee trigger where I'm just like, don't do a show for me, because a show is a lie. And I don't like being lied to. So who are you really? What do you really care about? And just give me that. I don't need all the other crap. I don't like a performance. And again, that's my own crap. We were asked to perform. I knew it was a lie. It made me sick, to have to do that. And so I spot it in other people and I don't like it because I know what it takes to do that. And it's not earnest. It comes from a weird self-protective place. And those people aren't accessible as friends to me. I can't. They're not safe because they can always turn on you real quick because you never really get in there. So they can always like walk away in a heartbeat. Listen to that childhood damage.
I was just going to say, there's
They're
nothing
going
like
to abandon me, Ramona. Karamo's going to abandon me.
there's nothing like a child of an alcoholic that can fucking, well, I'm sure there's other adult children of whatever fucking flawed parent you were raised by. I'm just feeling particularly grateful because my mom and I had a lovely conversation today, and she is just so loving and supportive. And I didn't want to throw all parents under the bus. So I'm just saying, like, with caveats, there are parents that also evolve and grow as their children do. And then there are the ones they're like, well, I'm fucking finished, man. Anyone has a problem with me, that's their problem. I'm talking about those parents, and I'm talking about the adult children of those parents. The skill set you come out with is hypervigilance and bullshit detectors, and you're real fucking good at it. You're real good, and you're right. That kind of stuff, I see right through you, and I don't like you. You're not safe. And you think I'm an idiot. You think it's going to work on me. Fuck you.
Which is, as I'm reminding myself, where Karamo comes from. A man rejected for just the very nature of who he is. I could stand to have a little empathy for a Black gay man who's kind of been through it, you know, and has some kids. Like, he's done lots of very good things. But the way he presents on camera, which is the only way I know him, I find challenging. It's challenging for me. So his every frame of his appearance in this episode, I felt that. And I was just like, nah.
I mean, yeah. In Julia's confessional, she's hyping up the organization, very fair, and saying it's about her people and her community. But I wonder if she or Martina
What about the T?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
The T in LGBTQ, given that Martina is transphobic. Martina was an ambassador and on the advisory board of a nonprofit organization called Athlete Ally, which advocates for the inclusion of LGBTQ in sports. Martina wrote her now infamous op-ed where she called women trans athletes cheaters. Okay. Now this organization, Athlete Ally, they dropped her as a member of their board and as the ambassador. So I just want to say, speaking of performative, if I were Julia, I wouldn't be able to fucking be on camera doing this, quite fucking frankly. And I noticed that Martina didn't go. I noticed that she didn't go.
Well, and we go through all of that high-stakes subject matter to Larsa's going shopping for a custom closet. Okay. She just bought a new home, the first one she's bought on her own. I don't know. This scene didn't do much for me. Stephanie arrived. She has self-diagnosed OCD. I related to her concern about fingerprints on the glass and staining fabric drawers with makeup. I get it. And Larsa sort of reports on the lunch that she had with Lisa. Nothing of great interest happened in this scene for me. How about you?
Oh, yeah, a little bit. Some things popped out. The first thing was that Larsa makes a point of referring to her condo as a mansion in the sky. We get it. It was big. You checked the box for rich, mansion in the sky, lest we think that you're fucking Gina Kirschenheiter living in the casita on Orange County. Okay? I get it, Larsa. The weirdness between Stephanie saying that she's building a closet, very similar to this, and Larsa having to say, well, I did it first. It's a closet. There's not going to be a lot of shit that's going to be different from closet to closet. The carpet, the light fixtures. Show me a closet that's been built in a new house that's different. Then you can compete over who was first. I thought it was ridiculous. It's no secret that ever since we've met Stephanie, that I find her to be an abhorrent, repellent piece of shit. To claim on national television that you are self-described OCD because you appreciate things being extra clean, that is wrong, dangerous, irresponsible, disrespectful, patronizing, and just plain old fucking shitty. I am not saying very fastidious people that have cleanliness requirements, such as Stephanie does. I have seen your home, Margaret. It sparkles. It
I
fucking
relate to
sparkles.
Stephanie, and I do. I'm a little self-prescribed OCD too. It's not normal. You can't relax.
Well,
Like I saw
yes.
her being like the makeup, the makeup on the doors. Larsa, you have to think about this. And like the way she was scraping, she saw the fingerprints on the glass and was like, "This is what you'll have. This is what you'll have." That's not a normal reaction. That
I
is
hear you.
something to be pathologized. For me, I'm saying because I'm the same way, and I've had to work on. You can leave the house when there's a smudge on the mirror at the doorway. You can. You don't need to get Windex. No one's going to die. You can go to work and come back.
But that's, again, the difference between the both of you. I don't think she's interested in seeking out a diagnosis or just even being more curious about. I don't think that she understands from what I've learned, the limited things I've learned about OCD, it sounds fucking awful. It sounds like a mental prison.
It's a spectrum like anything.
They're all
Yeah.
right. I mean, all of these diagnoses and neurospices are prisons on the spectrum. You're right. They can be. And I have ADHD. It's been diagnosed. Many people share hallmarks of ADHD. It's when those hallmarks fuck up and destruct your life on a daily basis. Many of the hallmarks of ADHD are destructive forces in my life. They are highly disruptive, highly dysregulating, and it felt like a flippant non-understanding of what the full-ass scope of OCD is. Again, I don't like her. I don't think anything she says is fucking cute. I think that she's really going hard for that memeable. She's just really gunning for that Etsy Christmas ornament that's going to say Birkins, not boogers. Birkins and boogers don't mix. Just save it for people that actually are charmed by you. I don't know if anyone's charmed by this person. I really don't. I don't even know if she's charmed by herself. Thank fucking God she decided not to have children. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that about her. I am very grateful to Stephanie for knowing clearly that that's not for her. That is a choice that she is not going to make.
No, I think she married her dad. I think she married someone who's 70, and I'm not sure if the option felt sustainable. I wonder.
I don't get any sense
she
that
likes
it was
money more than kids, but I think if she'd met a rich man in his 30s, she would have been a mom.
Interesting.
That is
I
my
wonder.
suspicion. But she met a rich man in his 60s, so off you go. But I will say, I do think Stephanie is full of shit most of the time, but I really saw myself reflected in her true anxiety and tension around like, don't spend your money on this. You're going to have this and it's going to have your makeup all over, but whatever. I have gold hoop earrings on, in fact, right now, and I used to have a bunch of different sizes of them. And you can imagine on top of my dresser, they were set out in size order. And I had a boyfriend at the time who came over and mixed them around. And I literally felt the energy in the room shift. And I got up and moved them. And he came in and was like, oh, and now we're all safe. And now we're all safe. And I was like, I know this is ridiculous. I know. And I don't know what to tell you about it. But like, yeah, we are now. You're welcome. I don't know why. It's a really strange, I don't even want to use the word affliction because I'd hardly call my case severe. And it's not even professionally diagnosed, but it is not normal. People with multiple pairs of hoop earrings other than me can leave the house if they're not in size order. So I don't know.
I invite you to consider using the word typical as opposed to normal.
Normal, typical, right.
It's not typical. Normal, what the fuck is
typical.
Normal? Right. That's all.
Yeah.
And you can also tell me, shut the fuck up, you wannabe like
no,
woke ass bitch instead of just the Gen Xers that we are. I just,
No,
I'm trying
feel like
myself to normalize using the word typical instead of normal.
Yeah, of course.
Leo would get on my case right now if he heard either one of us say the word normal.
As he should, yes.
Mm-hmm.
No, I didn't mean it in any kind of like, I wasn't trying to talk down to myself. It's just, I notice I behave differently around hoop earrings than my peers.
I hear you.
And I think in these first two scenes, I liked everyone. And I was kind of riding high on that. Like I loved the scene at the farm. I liked seeing Stephanie freak out about closet fabric. That felt fine and safe and not damaging to the world at large. And then then we enter the rest of the episode. So
Yes. Yes.
but did you have anything else in the closet scene?
No, other than that, I would also have that same thought, that same foresight about the makeup on fabric, or anything on fabric. Once you get foundation, a swipe of foundation on that, it's going to look like shit. If I'm investing this much money into it, I must keep it perfect. I would lay up at night wondering what's going to happen. When is that first scratch going to happen? My closet is 6 years old now. I just felt a little nick in it today, and I was all, oh God, oh God. It's like shit needs to get used. It's that thing like someone's going to ding my fucking car door, and it agonized me every time I look at it. I'm just agonized. For me, I think it comes from my fear of lack. I'm never going to have something this nice again. I must keep it perfect. I'm never going to get a manicure again. I must pick the perfect color. And lo and behold, I've gotten other manicures. That's not the same one. I will eventually build something else that's going to get ruined. I will have another car whose door is going to get dinged. This car might get another dinged door. Oh my God, I got to shut the fuck up. Okay, you know what I'm saying. I don't need to browbeat people. I'm sorry.
We're not browbeating. We're just learning from a closet design scene. That's all. Just learning a little bit about ourselves.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Oh, God. Yeah, so we go to the National LGBTQ Task Force Gala, and on the red carpet, Julia shares she's loud and proud of her community. And I was like, well, your wife isn't, and you are the company you keep, Julia. So by proxy, I'm going to call bullshit. And then she shares that she and Martina adopted the 2 boys.
And then we got the information that was really lovely that Karamo's being, and this is where I wish his speech had any, or at least maybe it did, but the parts we heard of his speech had nothing to do with what he was being honored for, which is pretty amazing. He was being honored for his work to destigmatize HIV and for being an advocate for mental health in the Black queer community. Like there's some life's work goals you can check 100%. Right off there, sir. That's miraculous and meaningful, and what an incredible place to put your energy. And then he gives a speech that could have been pulled directly from one of Instagram self-help expert Daniel's mirrors. It was so generic, and I was like, huh? I was like, what happened? All these incredible specific things you've done, and you're like, keep on fighting. Advocacy starts with you. I was like, what's happening? Oh my God. But I'm sure we just didn't get to see the meat and potatoes of the speech.
I mean, who knows if we would have anyway, because maybe the ladies were talking over it like they were talking over everyone that was on that stage. It was so
Good
rude.
Point.
Josh was so mad.
Yeah, like
love
inviting
him.
people to another party while you're at a party. I was like, shut up, ladies.
Totally.
Yeah, they did not make a good showing of themselves at these various events in this episode. I do want to mention one thing. Stephanie and Marisol ride together in some Rolls Royce with like a wet bar in the center console. And this is, everyone knows this, but I feel moved to reiterate it. Marisol shares that she got her first colonoscopy at 57. She laughs and thinks it's hilarious that she let it go that long. It is not hilarious. That is one of the most curable, catchable, treatable kinds of cancer. And I'm so glad that she's okay. But in an episode centered around cancer and the drama of treatment and the gift of recovery that not everybody gets, I thought it was irresponsible of Marisol to go like, I waited till I was 57. It would have been so unfunny had you not gotten the result that you got. So anybody, get your colonoscopies. If you have a family history, start at 40. If not, I think it's 45, right?
I think it's 45 or 50, yeah. Or maybe, and maybe if you start at 45, like it's every 5 years now, or I could be thinking of an IUD. I'm not sure. Don't quote me.
It's whatever, somewhere down there, things happen. I think if you do not have a family history, you start at 45 and it's every 10 years. And if you do have a family history, like I do, you start at 40 and it's every 5 years. So it's a very low demand, high reward testing situation. So I encourage everyone to not wait till you're 57 to get a lookup in there. That's my soapbox. I'm off it.
Julia in her confessional says she's feeling good about where she stands with Guerdy, even though we all saw her like manipulative bullshit last episode. The cognitive dissonance, it's my problem if I'm shocked as much as I am. It's my problem.
I mean, I think Julia misinterpreted Guerdy showing up like a decent adult to this meaningful event as some sort of olive branch for Julia. And that seems wrong. And then Karamo greets Julia, and I like about lost my mind. I was like, ugh. The performative shrieking, the talking about jewelry. I smell money. I'm like, you are here because you're being honored for like mental health and HIV advocacy. We've lost the thread, rich people.
Yeah, and I also think it can all exist together.
It can. It
You know?
can. Of course it can. And I'm sure the whole thing was a fundraising event, which is all that matters in the end. But
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean-
I need to look into why Karamo in particular really just, it's like my body crosses its arms and like sits back and looks askance.
I have those too. I understand. I validate you, friend. Kiki arrives with her friend who is a model. That's how they met. Her name is Carmen. She's trans. And Carmen tells Julia that she almost walked in a Victoria's Secret fashion show 10 years ago. There was a petition saying that people wanted her to walk, but they didn't allow it because I'll remind everyone that an utter piece of diabolical shit named Len Wexner owns the group that owns Victoria's Secret. And he is a piece of shit. You can Google him if you want. Don't fuck up your algorithm with this trash man. I'm just saying he's evil and disgusting and capitalizes on women feeling insecure about themselves. And that's how he makes money. He's literally said it. One other interesting fact about Len Wexner is that Jeffrey Epstein was his financial advisor. You do the math.
Yeah, there was some sex trafficking stuff. He's a very bad guy. And he shaped our body images and self-esteem because we grew up in the Victoria's Secret era. So cool.
And I also wonder if Julia is connecting any dots while talking to a trans woman. I wonder what's going on in her brain. If anything is going on in her brain, I will tell you that I was thinking the exact same thing I always think of when the word trans comes up in the same sentence, breath, scene, what have you, in regards to Julia and Martina. Ramona came in with her hammer. Just gonna fucking, sorry. Move on, please. Take the mic, Margee. Take it.
No, it's confusing. It's confusing. And it's also like, I don't know. I wish Julia would make some sort of definitive statement because people aren't their partners, you know? It's confusing to see Julia at an LGBTQ event and engaging with a trans model. And I don't know. The whole thing is, like you said, it's on me for being surprised by cognitive dissonance around these gals.
Same.
Then we're inside the event and we're at the table and Todd texts Alexia and Alexia shows the text to Marisol and Alexia says that they can't resist spending time together anytime they run into each other. They love each other and she's following her heart. So this is the new Todd narrative, the one that she presented us in dramatic fashion in the first 2 or 3 episodes has now been formally retired. And now it's just like, I love him. I can't get enough of him. I'm following my heart. Then, as Josh rightly noted, Guerdy overtalks the people on the stage trying to host their event. The lights are down. Like, there's absolutely no reason anyone should be talking.
I mean, they're all talking. Yeah.
Yeah. And Guerdy invites everyone to her celebration of surviving cancer, her celebration of life, she called it, which isn't that usually what you call a memorial? It freaked me out a little bit. So I wrote down celebration of surviving cancer, but I chose
to interpret that as reclaiming celebration of life.
Okay, great.
And maybe that they can both exist. You can celebrate life as one transitions out of this mortal coil that you and I in this form are familiar with. And you can also you can celebrate your fucking life while you're here. And, you know, she was pretty fucking close. She was pretty fucking close. She has a lot to celebrate. Her life.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Guerdy says she wants to celebrate her new attitude and outlook on life and share her happiness with everyone at this event. And then we had the event, which was half of that, and then half a weird, petty housewives moment, which, I'll take them both. I'm here for all of it.
One line of Karamo's speech that struck me, I did like that he said that a call to action and any call to action is a call to action first with ourselves. That really resonated. Like, it is true. It can be a radical act, just honoring who you are as a person and accepting and loving yourself. That can be a radical act in itself, because the potential and the possibilities once you're able to do that is limitless, Oh, God, do I sound Tony Robbins right now?
No, you just made that make sense to me, because I thought he was just saying, like, activism starts with yourself, and I was like, yeah, I get, but
Yeah,
but I didn't
that's
interpret
true.
it like you did. Yes, but I appreciated how you colored in that line drawing for me. Yeah,
Well, thank you.
yeah.
And then the never stop fighting, but he forgets he's talking in front of housewives and that they're going to fucking take that shit literal. So,
And yeah, God bless the editors for Karamo screams, never stop fighting. And then we cut immediately to 72 hours later, where every single one of them took the direction and are fighting. Never stop. And then we roll back time to the beginning of Guerdy's. Sorry, did you have anything else at the?
No.
Okay, great. So we're at Guerdy's party at Sanctuary, which we later find out was a former church, a former Baptist church that Kiki used to attend with her mom and family. I love it. And it starts off again, so like exciting and joyful and emotional. Guerdy, this is her post-cancer debut. She is 1 year cancer-free. She's only invited 40 people, including 2 fellow cancer survivors, so 3 miracles under one roof. And this is where I should have seen something coming. She said, "It's my party and I can wear, drink, say, and do what I want." And I was like, but then I immediately won back, because she takes photos with Russell and her beautiful boys, and everyone's dressed in all white. And it's like, so it's thrilling. This is a huge cause for celebration. The fact that every entity in that family is there to be photographed is a huge friggin' deal. So
am I naive thinking that the texting, like deciding to show the texts, wasn't a spur of the moment decision after she had the conversation with Russell later on in the episode?
Perhaps I'm cynical,
totally
but
fucking naive?
She had a whole first half where she thanked her family, spoke about cancer, survival, all these things. Then at the mic, she announces there's more things to come, goes backstage, dismisses her sons, tells them to leave, and they do. And then suddenly we have text message with redacted portions ready to be projected onto a screen. And that was 36 minutes before it happened. You know what I mean? It's not like, let me pull these together and I have to do this because I'm so wrong. I felt very, when she sent her boys home, I was like, this was planned. She didn't want them to see this, because for the boys who, in fairness to them, I had a close friend in high school whose mom went through breast cancer, and that is traumatic as fuck for a teenager. So Guerdy was right to have them there to celebrate and honor her presence on this planet. And I think it would have disappointed her children, who had to ride out that storm, to see their cancer survivor mom get petty with text messages about Captain Sandy's cruise. I just, having witnessed my teenage friend go through the terror of the real possibility of losing a parent to the disease in multiple surgeries. There's endless potholes along that road. And yeah, I did not, I think at least Guerdy knew well enough to spare her kids that bullshit.
For sure. I agree. I was glad they weren't there to see it. Oy, oy, oy. Julia arrived first, and it was just, you could cut the awkwardness with a fucking knife. And Guerdy tells Julia, congratulations on life. And Julia just looks like she's smelling shit. She says, that, Guerdy came to her event, so she's wants to be there to support Guerdy at her event. She's optimistic and trying to move forward. And I just remembered what you said last week. Julia's rushing over the parts of conflict resolution with friends. That is hard and deeply, profoundly unfucking comfortable in the moment. Saying sorry and having dinner and having the tensions lighten, that is a good step. Then fucking it all up and going 10 steps backwards, asking in that passive-aggressive way, so what do you do when, fuck you, Julia? Anyway. Moving on. MovingOn.org.
Yeah. And then Julia greets Russell and has another very stilted conversation. And Russell, understandably, is pissed and unimpressed and distrustful of Julia. And Julia foolishly reports, well, I have 2 boys now, too. And God, Russell is great. He just goes, I heard. Congratulations and good luck. And then Julia, she danced around it. If she'd gone straight in, it would have been different. But instead, she said, I'm sure Guerdy shared with you. We had a moment I wish we didn't have. What? You've had several moments. One of them involved you splashing water all over her at a party. Don't
in
try
an
to
intentionally violent way.
It was gross. Even if it wasn't
disgusting.
Even if the moment got away from you, when you're talking to her husband, you go, I'm sure you're aware that I did something disgusting and likely unforgivable, but I'm really working hard to earn your wife's trust back. And I know you're part of that. There was a way to do this, but instead she's like, oh, there was a moment I wish we hadn't had, but I think we're on a good path now. And Russell was like, okay, well, I hope you all move forward. Bye.
I mean, he's not a warm and fuzzy dude anyway, but I was so there to with the metaphorical popcorn, oh, I love it. Go, Russell, go.
Well, and we saw him sit with Guerdy sobbing about the abject humiliation of that moment. And he has already been through a lot with his wife, and that is literal insult to injury. And if I'm Russell, I would have a hard time finding any softness. I would be all edges if I had to have a conversation with someone like Julia on a night like this too. Then everyone else arrives, and Julia reports to Marisol that she talked with Russell and it was awkward. And then she says, God, she's just unforgivable. She goes, well, he's only heard Guerdy's side, so he must think I'm the bad guy. And I just wrote, you are. What are you doing?
Margee, my notes were in bold italic. That's fucking willfully ignorant B. Marisol tells her, well, Guerdy is trying, and Julia makes a point. We're both trying. No, you're not. No, you're not trying. You're not trying. Julia's Juliaing.
Yeah. And then Julia further gossips, reporting that she went out with Todd and Alexia, and Todd told Julia he's trying to win Alexia back. Then Alexia and Stephanie join the conversation, and this ignites a conflict between Alexia and Stephanie because somebody said, it doesn't seem like Todd's having to win you back much. You're pretty much in the sack with him already. This is a done deal. And Stephanie says, oh, we had a narcissist party for Todd. And Alexia's like, no, I'm too much of an empath. I'm not full of myself like you are. And then we start down this crazy road. In an effort to keep Stephanie from insulting Todd, Alexia insults Stephanie. And now we've started down the classic Housewives ridiculous drama path.
I mean, to make me like Alexia, to make me take Alexia's side, says something. It says something about you as a housewife and a person to make me take Alexia's side. I don't take anyone's side, but when Stephanie overcrossed her back, she's doing too much. She has watched these shows for too long, and she thinks she knows her role, but she's not playing very well. And the producers are fucking batting her around like a cat with a mouse or a little fuzzy rat toy.
I don't think so.
I do. I think they told her to go sit on that couch when this conversation started going
Maybe,
down.
but I think Stephanie, she doesn't give a fuck. She is not there to stay on the show. She doesn't have that like Dorit energy where she's going to be fed a storyline. She's so rich. She doesn't need this shit. And also, she's right. That party was about Todd. Daniel was initially contacted because Todd was a narcissist and Alexia was going to use that as her storyline. Now she wants to get back with Todd, and Stephanie's just saying what we're all seeing. And yes, she is absolutely housewiving her ass off, but I guess I don't care. To Alexia, go off.
To mention Dorit, Dorit buys her own bullshit about being a fashion icon.
But Stephanie's rich. Dorit
Doing
needs
too much.
the show.
Right. I agree. I think Stephanie needs the show in a different way. I think she probably sees it as a business opportunity. She's dropping the name of her development and her food hall like as often as she can. She seems far too attached. Like Bo's new housewife, rich as fuck housewife. She didn't give this energy.
No,
like
I would never equate Stephanie and Bose. No, you're right.
Right.
Stephanie is performing, but
exactly.
I don't mind it. I like her being relentless with Alexia because I'm over Alexia, but I said it in weeks past. Like, don't try to sell us on this season being about all the women are narcissists. Your whole arc for the season started with Todd being a narcissist and you being his victim. Then you wanted that to change, and now you're trying to make us all be like, oh yeah, Todd's probably pretty great. And the women are narcissists. It's like, yes, the women are narcissists, but that's not why Daniel came into your life. That was not the point of that party. That party was for you to cry on a throne while everyone comforted you because poor you at the mercy of Todd. Remember when she cried about him moving out in front of Frankie? What he did was inexcusable. So for her to be like, that party wasn't about Todd. It's like, don't do that, dude. You just made me invest hours in this absolutely being about Todd. And now you're trying to tell me that I'm an idiot if I thought that. Dude. And now I hate you. And that's why I like Stephanie being relentless and saying all of those quotes were about Todd. That party was about Todd. Just say it. Say that. And also say, and I want to get back with Todd. That's fine. We've all made weird relationship choices in our lives. I'm not going to be mad at that. I'm mad at the lying and the gaslighting.
Yeah, I wonder how she's rationalizing it in her mind because, that happened in front of Frankie. He did all that. He was an emotional terrorist in front of her son.
And he planned it. He slowly moved out. Like, I just
How does she do
don't.
that? How does she
And then she had her
that?
screaming dinner, her friend came to town and she screamed and cried about fuck them. And like, come on, man. Please don't try to tell us that like we got it wrong. I misread that. I've never seen her act like that. And I've watched every season of this show. She was distraught and he did something despicable in front of her child. So
goddamn. I needed to be scared straight right now. I needed to be scared straight. I needed to
look, it's
smell
still
the coffee.
It's still team nobody. Like both of them are ridiculous human beings, but at least Stephanie was standing on some firm ground.
She was standing on bullshit. She
was right. That party was about Todd. Those quotes were about Todd. Daniel was even confused. Poor Daniel. I don't know. But yes, it was a performance. I'm not going to pretend like she's not hiding stuff of her own. It's always fun to watch the person who really goes on the attack because, like, what are you trying to keep people from getting invested in your backstory, ma'am? We'll get there.
Oh, we'll get there. Oh, my God, listen to me. We'll get there. Fucking Grinch smile, maleficent laugh. I'm only as sick as my secrets, and I would be real sick if I tried to pretend that I felt about Stephanie in a different way than I feel. Ooh, rationalizing like it's my job. Guerdy takes the stage and presents a check to an organization called Survive Her, and she gives an inspirational speech about what going through her experience with cancer taught her. And she shares with everyone that she got an MRI and she is that bitch, meaning she is cancer-free. And I'm just so glad.
And everyone was weeping, and it was lovely. And Guerdy then thanks Russell, and then I cried. I was leveled. And then she thanks her sons who come out on stage. And I was like, this family. And in her confessional, she talked a little bit about like basically like the life force that the trio of those boys in her life gave her, Russell and her two kids, that they were really sustaining forces to get her through treatment, to motivate her to stay on the planet and keep fighting. And that was really genuinely, completely moving, which for me made the second chapter so much more profoundly lame and disappointing.
I know that it would mean that I was more spiritually evolved if I could just knee jerk, not even give it a second thought, and just agree with you. But I don't. I'm pissed. In her confessional that Julia records with the producers after they shoot the entire season, she says, you know, she went through this with Martina and she's really proud of Guerdy. But when you cut to her fucking face while they're shooting this scene and while Guerdy is talking, Julia looks incredibly unmoved, ungracious, and just, again, like she's got just a little bit of shit on her upper lip that she's sniffing and she can't escape it. So, fuck you, Julia. I don't believe you. Say all the words. They don't mean shit.
But that was when Guerdy was saying, like, I'm going to live differently now, which means I'm going to yell when I'm pissed. I'm going to, call people out when they're full of shit. And that is when Julia got uncomfortable, which seemed appropriate. She should be uncomfortable. I did not see coming how that would play out, and certainly not in the same event. But I think part of Guerdy's language was intended to make Julia feel a little off center. Now that I've survived the worst thing a person can be put through, I will mince no words and spare no souls. So consider yourself on alert, ma'am.
Yeah. Oh, God,
Yeah.
see?
See, and to me, if she'd ended the event there, that would have been great. And that is what I mean by the Cosmic Scoreboard being bullshit. So Guerdy is well within her rights to do what she did. Nobody appropriately punished Julia for how she behaved. Guerdy's taken a lot of flack, and she absolutely can take the stage and use this moment like she did. But the feeling at the end of this episode was such a bummer, when instead in that moment, I felt how much she appreciated her family. I felt how much she appreciated her life. And I felt how much she was done taking shit from idiot assholes in her circle. And I was like, yeah, let's go home, call the valet, let's be done. And instead it's like, here are some text messages with Martina's name crossed out. I was like, Guerdy, God damn it. And then it leaves with her trying to be like, well, I had the right to do that. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, and that's the feeling she's going to leave this party with. Ugh, that's where the Cosmic Scoreboard is such a letdown, because Guerdy's right. And she gets to go home feeling like, you understand why I did that, right? I had the right to do that. It's like, you did. You did. And that's what you get. You get to go home feeling like that.
I know you're right. Logically, I know that you're right.
It's not even about being right
I
or
know.
wrong. It's literally,
I know.
Because I want to be like I said, I understand Guerdy's impulse, and I would have prepared it all too. But I'm grateful that I've had enough therapy to not follow through, because I know what it feels like in the days after making a big swing like that. Yeah. It's such a letdown. It's so brutal. It fucking sucks, even when you're right. And I did it recently, 5 years ago. I was in a position where I was in the right, and I had the chance to leave on a real high note, and I sent one last email. It made me sick, and I will carry that pang for the rest of my life. I was right, and it's all there in writing. It's a whole timeline written out and sent to everyone. Why? That was really unnecessary, out of line, and it undercut everything.
I disagree. I do.
I've heard from people involved.
Okay.
And how I feel. Honestly, it's more
Okay,
about how
that's the
I
most
feel.
important thing. That's the
It's
most
I
important
was
thing.
Guerdy going like, but I needed you guys to know all of these other things. You'd heard these certain things, but I needed you to know how the breadth of this situation. They didn't need to know any of that shit. And it was just weird and it made everyone uncomfortable. And now that includes me. I made everyone uncomfortable. Not that I was wrong. I was right. Guerdy was right. But we made everyone in this space uncomfortable. They were on our side. And then we added this extra little maraschino, drippy ass, gross cherry that ruined the whole fucking Sunday.
I did that with Bill at Walgreens too. Everyone was on my side until I just went a little too far. And then it was like, oh, she's no longer hilarious. Taking this man down a notch. I was right. I crossed over and yeah, you're right. You're right. And I know
was
you're not being,
obsessed.
I'm not saying you're right. I know that that's not your aim, is to be right. I know that your aim
No,
is to live clean, an
but I
emotionally
didn't, is
clean
my point.
life.
I was Guerdy, and so I
Same.
wouldn't want to make that same mistake. And I think it was just, again, this is why I love these shows, because the stakes could not be higher. Guerdy's life was on the line. And that's how strong that drive is for justice and to be right and to be heard in full. And I totally get it. And it's like, wow, even life and death doesn't, the only thing that helps with that is therapy. Even a life and death situation can't take the edge off of a need for justice. Like I really need to reason things out with a third fucking party. So.
I'm only laughing because I was about to say, like, when the fuck is my therapy going to kick in when it comes to that? And it's actually like, I was supposed to do ketamine today at the doctor's office, but I can't do it till tomorrow, which is fine. But it's one of the things that I want to work on. Like, I don't want to be attached to my story, and I need to cultivate willingness to let go of being right and proving myself. I'm just terrified I'm going to be fucking taken advantage of. And that is probably, I wonder if that is where Guerdy is coming from too. You're not going to fuck me over on my fucking watch. No, ma'am. And here is the why it's going to go down like this. And I know that is just another way of saying the cosmic scoreboard of it all, but it is such a strong desire in me to not be fucked over and to not be taken advantage of, or to be seen as something that I'm not. And that's what Julia was trying to do, is make Guerdy seem like she's like something that she's not.
I mean, I don't even care about the text messages. To me, it goes back to Julia throwing water in Guerdy's face. Not one of those women stood up and was like, I'm uncomfortable, I'm leaving this party. Guerdy was splashed with water and they all just fucking sat there. Guerdy throws text messages up and suddenly they're all incensed. And that was Marisol's wedding celebration. It's not like it was any lower stakes for Marisol, but Marisol could not get out of this party and be more disgusted and express it louder. But at that party, she just sat there with her fucking hands in her laps while Guerdy was soaked, and everyone just kind of like cast their gaze down and to the side and twiddled their fingers. Like, to me, that's where Guerdy has the right to be like, fuck Julia and fuck all of you. You deserve to feel uncomfortable and ashamed. And again, I've had that experience of like, anyone who thinks anything that's gone on is okay, I'll show you. And I did. And then everyone's just uncomfortable and it's too far. It is my story. And like, I don't need to prove it to anyone because I know what's true and people who know me know what's true about me. But now I added a weird wrinkle into my story, which is like, Margee was right. It was on all of the high ground. And then she got obsessed and tipped over and added 40 pages to our lives that were insane.
Oh, well, not perfect yet.
100%. And yet,
I know.
And yet there's a couple
that feeling
people
that keeps you up in the night.
Amends to.
Yeah.
Because, there are a couple people I will owe amends to because it changed the dynamic in that workplace in a way that was not fair to them. And I weirdly knew it, but I also, nobody could have talked me out of it. So I had to have the experience. And I'm hoping that was my bottoming out with the Cosmic Scoreboard of like, just leave it alone. Trust that if you're satisfied with your choices and you can move through the world, You don't need everybody to understand every granular detail of why you're right, even though it was complicated. Stupid, Margie.
Oh,
Stupid.
man.
Right? So
I don't
annoying.
know. It just it clearly is still working for me in some way, shape, or form. It's some sort of protecting, coping modality that I am recalibrating my relationship with,
Well,
examining my relationship with, trying to push the boundaries of what I'm willing to let go of and ask these fears, what is so scary about letting go of it? What are you terrified of? Bravo, motherfuckers. Bravo. And my real fucking life and struggles with the way I live my life and view the world. Just saying, it's possible to intersect. That's what we do here. Margie, what
yeah.
were you going to say?
Just that I think it's a different experience. Like, while Bill at Walgreens is a real thing, those people were all strangers. And although every detail of that experience has stayed with you, you're not face to face with these people as people who know you and have interacted with you or in your workplace or in your home or whatever. There's a new level of like, why did I do that? Was it worth it? I have to see these people most every day or at least socially on occasion. And am I pretty proud of myself for putting my text messages up or sending my 40-page dumbass document? Do I feel pretty great about that? No. It's a weird added wrinkle, but I do think that was probably what it took for me to bottom out on the Cosmic Scoreboard. It took something that dramatic. So maybe this will be Guerdy's experience as well. She seemed pretty defensive. I was immediately remorseful the second I sent it. I was like, that was a mistake, and it was done. This was just the high note of the first half of this event was so glorious and meaningful and amazing and righteous. And then it became like Petty Housewives, which in a way is a relief. Fuck cancer in that way, right?
Yeah, totally. You're right. You're right. You're right.
So we sort of left off when Guerdy finishes up her speech saying she will always be true to her emotions from now on. That's when Julia looks like she's smelling shit on her upper lip.
100.
And then Gertie's closing line of her speech was, "A few more things are happening. Stand by." Then she goes backstage and says goodbye to her boys. And then we enter the second act of this party, which seems a little suspicious.
The TLDR on these text messages is that what Guerdy is trying to please the court with is that, from her perspective, the text messages that she has flashed on screen prove that Julia asked Guerdy to go on this cruise in a very enthusiastic way, asking a close friend for support. And it wasn't that Guerdy weaseled her way onto the cruise to network and rub shoulders. And that is what Guerdy's main goal is, flashing their thread. Marisol is not stoked. The whole cast, except for Adriana, maybe Kiki and Hochstein, are outraged and offended, and they are all opining that the night is supposed to be about breast cancer awareness and surviving breast cancer and celebrating Guerdy being cancer-free. Yes, and I'd also argue that she did set the tone. This is a celebration of her life and how she's going to live it, and she's going to do what she needs to do. This event was not just one singular thing. Did she not lure them under false pretenses, but market it as such? A fair amount.
And not just any pretense, cancer.
Oh boy.
This is, you know what I mean? It was a pretty severe 180 that she pulled.
I don't know. So her castmates are freaking out. They're walking outside. They're pissed. Guerdy introduces the entertainment now that the truth has been cleared. And then we rewind again with another dramatic card to 36 minutes earlier, giving us more context that, Margie, now that you explained it 15 minutes ago, I can see where you're coming from. I just, She's going to be the woman that she wants to be, which what we just got done talking about is in the moment, you might feel like you are that woman, but in a matter of time, you're probably not going to feel like that woman that you envision yourself. But I understand where she's coming. She's not going to take shit lying down. She's going to teach Julia a little lesson. I get it. I mean, that's my fucking middle name, man. I'm not going to take shit lying down, and I will teach lessons. I don't do it as often, but I do it in my mind. It's a brief and fleeting, satisfying feeling. Emphasis on the brief and fleeting. And I immediately think of you. I immediately think of you because I know that it's not going to make me feel better in the long motherfucking run. It hasn't yet. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. I mean, it just becomes what this became. Like, you know, Lisa asked Guerdy, like, oh, so I guess you're not moving past this with Julia then? And Gertie's like, I guess not. Not after last week, because we said we wouldn't talk about it publicly, and then Julia did. Okay, and now Guerdy did. And now this is how you're going to be spending your precious life, like going back and forth about who was enthusiastic or not about Captain Sandy's cruise. Like, I just can't get over, like, I can't. But Lisa was right, weirdly. In her confessional, she said it's a public shaming, like that shame scene from Game of Thrones. And I think that is exactly what Guerdy wanted, because Guerdy described her sensation of being on the receiving end of Julia throwing that water as a humiliation. So she tried to deliver the same, because hurt people. And if I'm hurt, I want you to feel as bad as I do. So she made her attempt at that, and we'll see how she feels about it on the other side. It's short-lived. She got rid of Julia, but it's also meaningless to the other 40 people in that room, and God knows the other 2 cancer survivors were probably like, what the fuck? Like, you want me to read man. Threads and threads of text messages? Like,
Julia threw water. She threw water.
I know.
She threw water.
I totally get it. And then in a moment of irony, Julia tells Adriana that, you know, I came to celebrate Guerdy beating cancer, not to be personally attacked. And I was like, well, I think Guerdy went to Marisol's party to celebrate her wedding, not to get water thrown on her by a drunken fuckface across the table. So,
and I appreciated Adriana explaining to Julia why Guerdy did what she did. It was the fucking party, dude. You fucking blew it. You blew it. You lit the match and you threw it.
And here we are. Everybody's leaving that beautiful party, that celebration of life, talking about Daniel saying that in front of Dan. You know what I mean? It's like, what?
Oh,
it just, to me, it's just like, oh, okay.
I really I was not stoked watching Marisol, Larsa, and Alexia going, oh, pobrecita over fucking Julia, who is a 2-time perp with Guerdy and not the victim. She is the victimizer in this situation. They didn't make this much of a fucking mess over the water.
Nobody moved, and nobody told Julia to get the hell out. You're way out of line. Nobody did anything. That was gross. This was petty. That was gross.
Stephanie goes inside, she goes outside, she talks shit about Guerdy's choice. While she's inside the party, goes outside, then she tries to communicate. She says something about wanting to see both sides. She told Adriana what Guerdy did was fucked up, but then she tells Alexia she wanted to know both sides, and Alexia tells her she needs to take a stand. And then they start fighting. It's clear Alexia is already pissed, rightly so, at Stephanie. It's none of her business, and the way she's going at it is not coming from a benevolent place of giving a shit about Alexia. It's about shaming Alexia as well. She is also coming to want to shame Alexia. I am a full hip because I don't like Stephanie, but I'm pro-shaming Julia. God.
I mean, I just have such a different take on Stephanie through all of this. Like,
oh, wow.
Tell me. But again, it's just because Alexia, like, I can't with Alexia. So Stephanie says, I want to stay neutral. And she says that was rude and distasteful to display those texts. But she said, I'm trying to understand the friend group. I'm new to this. And that made sense to me. Like, I'm trying to understand why you guys are this pissed off. And I'm trying to understand what motivated Guerdy to do that. Like, maybe she's not digging too deep.
I'd buy it if she wasn't such a fucking expert on everybody already. I think she just wants the chisme. She doesn't want to learn shit. She just wants the drama of it all.
But the one thing I did, the chipping back and forth between Alexia and Stephanie about Todd, I actually appreciated her backing down. She's like, look, I won't talk about him ever again. Do I think you're too good for him? Yes, I do. Do I think that matters to you? No, I don't. So I won't say anything else. And I bought it. I was like, or maybe it's just because that's how I feel. I'm like, Alexia's a lost cause. So
I agree.
There's no point in talking about it.
With you and the sentiment, I don't think it has to do one iota about her caring about Alexia.
But I don't think she cares. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
She's like, I will drop this because I think you're better than him and I think you don't give a shit about that. So, right? Or no?
If she really didn't care, just fucking walk away or don't even start the conversation at all. If you see that, there's nothing you can do about it. Like, she's clearly dickmatized or whatever she is with Todd. No amount of encouragement or you're better than him is going to make a fucking difference. If it's not making a difference coming out of Marisol's mouth, Stephanie, shut the fuck up. And again, I am on nobody's fucking side until when Stephanie says to Alexia, I'm sorry, you're very sensitive. Then in her confessional, she says, this is why I don't get along with sensitive people. If you want to sit there and be sensitive, it doesn't work because I'm not sensitive.
I just don't think Alexia is deserving of the label sensitive. I'm sensitive. You're sensitive.
Yeah.
Kiki's sensitive. Gertie's sensitive. Alexia's not. It's just, that's a crazy person. So you're mistaking someone who's popping off for someone who's sensitive. But someone who's deflecting from someone who's sensitive.
But the fact that that's what she's categorizing it as, Margee, is why I loathe her and her approach to this. Mm-hmm. You see that. I see that. We know Alexia is completely incorrect when she says, oh, but I'm an empath. Like, okay, ma'am, that's a whole other apple to an orange. But if we're talking about the orange that is Stephanie, she is so wildly out of line and disconnected from reality even more than Alexia. It just looks different because it's packaged in that annoying fucking flip of a hairstyle and her annoying fucking outfits. And
she is a cartoon character.
She is a really cartoon character. She's a terrible cartoon character. Obviously, I've been called sensitive so many times in my life. I've been called sensitive by one of my primary fucking caretakers. You know what I'm saying? Like, did my dad call me sensitive on the regular? Probably. Was it meant as a put down? Abso-fucking-lutely. It was. Am I extra sensitive to someone calling out someone for being sensitive? Yes, I am.
Yeah, it's just tricky because it's like, you're not Alexia. Like, to me, Alexia is just so... She's like the original sin for me. If she wasn't trying to cover for Todd so bad, we would be actually talking about Guerdy instead of narcissists and empath. Like, this
right.
is all.
I understand. I understand exactly what you're saying.
It's all becoming about Todd. Kiki gets it all right, saying that we're all wrong. Saying she just experienced a whole WW2.
I think
she meant
adorable.
WWE. God bless her. She's like, they're going to kill each other, Alexia and Stephanie.
My God.
And then Julia, we catch her with the most victim-y tone, telling Martina to please don't fall asleep.
Gag
I have
me.
to come home. Honestly.
Gag me.
Settle down.
Gag me. Oh, my fucking God.
You're
and
that
I didn't
butthurt about text messages. And they weren't, again, I paused the screen and read them. You came off just fine. There's not a cuss word in there. It's all Captain Sandy logistics. Couldn't care less, dude. Go to bed.
I did not appreciate Adriana. I was on her side. I was on her side. I was on her side. Then she pulls Julia aside and says, listen, if you have messages, you show yours too. To which Julia has the motherfucking Cassidy to say, I'm not going to sink to Guerdy's level. Fuck you. You fired the shot, bitch. You lit the fucking raging bonfire. Fuck you. I gotta chill out. I gotta chill the fuck out.
No. I mean, this is what happens. It's like somebody will have to decide to stop. And neither one of them is doing that. And so this could go on for seasons and seasons. And because Guerdy's last line, she just reiterates that it's her party and she can do whatever she wants. And she's absolutely right. And I do hope it satisfied Guerdy. You know, she deserves that, to feel satisfied. But the way that party ended was just,
I know.
could have been different. But
You're right. You're right.
Live and learn.
Nobody. Team not one fucking person except for Kiki.
Yeah, Kiki's so great. And she looked gorgeous. Her white
Stunning.
dress was like amazing. They did a full like beauty shot, you know, of her getting out of the car. Like the length of it, very few people can pull off a T-length dress like that. And she really just, she's stunning. I love Kiki.
Stunning. Same.
And that was her Baptist church where she used to dance around, and now it's an event space. So
I loved it. Friend, what else did you watch this week?
I watched the return of Gretchen Rossi on The Real Housewives of Orange County, and I loved it. I ate it up. I thought it was great. I watched the finale of Next Gen NYC. Stand by it. It's a great show. And I did watch The Valley, but again, no new news here. It's sad and dark, and nobody's getting well. However, Jax was fired / claims he is stepping aside, but I think we all know he was encouraged by producers to go away because he's getting real out of control. And then I wanted to tell you that I also started watching Love Island. So I've been doing lots of like busy work, and I've just needed something on in the background. And it actually leads into my antidepressant that like I had Love Island on, and my friend Beth, who's been on the podcast, came over to help me with this project that I'm working on. And occasionally we'd look up and the screen would just have like 5 butts, 5 new butts, 5 thong butts, people kissing. It just, the show is hilarious to me. It's like a Nickelodeon colorful set. And then it's just like, every
It's a
time I look
horny
up,
Nickelodeon set. You're
it is
totally right.
Because even one of the challenges, they're like getting slimed or diving into slime. And I was like, what is this? And I love it. And I have no idea who anyone is because I'm not really paying attention. And there's constantly new people every time I look up. My antidepressant was laughing with Beth, dying laughing when we both looked up, and there were like 5 new butts with mic packs, non-disguised mic packs, just like bouncing around their waist. Like I was
know.
like, what is this show? How is it so popular? And I don't ever want to turn it off. I don't want it to end. I'm so glad there's 3,000 episodes because I'll just have colorful noise to keep me distracted. It's also hilarious to me that they're in Fiji, but the way that place is set up, it might as well be like a soundstage in Burbank.
Totally.
You see nothing that's like Fiji.
You do.
You'll catch a glimpse of, I'm not deep enough in yet.
You will. Yeah, you will.
We're just in like
eventually.
rooms with, you know, and everybody, what is soul ties? Everybody seems to be like, ooh, they're in soul ties. I'm like, why is that special? Why is
Soul
that different
ties
than
is like
He
this-
Loves Me Not or
Right.
all these photo booth? Why? Who cares?
I know.
What's soul ties?
Soul Ties is this big round couch in a kind of private area, and people can hook up there, or if you can't sleep in the shared bedroom at night, you can go to Soul Ties and
So
sleep.
that's where you go to kiss.
That's
So
where you
that's
can go
why
to,
people
like-
are like, you've been to soul
Yes,
ties?
you can kiss there and have
Oh.
private conversations there,
I
and
see.
it offers more privacy. So
I
it's
see.
a
Okay.
coveted area. It's a coveted sacred area with
And the
lots of
assumption is if you go to soul ties, you may do like some heavy petting or
You could
making
do
out
some
up
heavy
there.
petting. You might you might make
Oh.
out. You might have a conversation where you take your relationship, to the next level. You might,
Okay.
you might do stuff there.
All righty.
Yeah.
Okay, that helps.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's what I watched, and that was my antidepressant. So how about you? What did you watch, and what was your antidepressant?
I watched the first episode of Amy Bradley is Missing, that documentary about the woman who goes missing on the cruise on Netflix. I watched And Just Like That. I'm comfort watching Sex and the City. And I'm also mildly comparing and contrasting with the And Just Like That. And it's a whole fucking mess. And then I watched The Real Housewives of Orange County. And I have to say, so far, this does not feel like a fun watch to me. I haven't seen enough walk-in closets or spa-like ensuite bathrooms or the whiff of a cute fucking outfit. Nothing that I tune in to Housewives to see. Tamra feels dirty. Gretchen feels dirty. Katie, I'm so unclear on what's going on. Emily and Gina are filthy McNasty. Heather she said something in a confessional that really pissed me off. But other than that, she's the one I feel most fucking connected to. And you know how much I despise Heather Dubrow. She repels me most of the time. So that is what I watched. My antidepressant it was my birthday last week, and my husband just went above and fucking beyond. Really knows what I need. Getting my soul fed with friends and family. That's my antidepressant. Getting the fuck out of bed today, taking a shower, showing up for this is a big one too. Showing up for a lot of things today that I haven't been able to show up for the majority of this week. So, yeah, that's a big one too. Mm-hmm.
That's huge.
Yep.
That's all huge.
Yep.
Can I just ask you real quick? So I loved seeing Tamra get so bothered by Gretchen Rossi.
Yes.
Is it intriguing to you, or are you feeling like Orange County is kind of like a shrug? Who cares? I don't know.
No, it's definitely not a shrug. It's oh my God, there's not one person whose side I'm on. There's not one Kiki on this cast.
Yeah,
You know?
Jen would be our closest, but she's got that Ryan. So what are we gonna do? And she's marrying him.
I thought Matt was a good guy. Now I don't know where. It's just this whole fucking cast is quicksand. There's no solid. There's no fucking terra firma. You know what I mean? There's nothing. There's no safety. The showing of the post that Sydney made in regards to her mother, if that doesn't tell you a bunch of shit about Tamra, I don't know what it's going to take. I tend to believe children, especially when you've got a mom like Tamra. I'm always there for a Tamra Barney takedown. But as you say, they don't fucking work. None of the Cosmic Scoreboard shit has worked. It hasn't made a dent in her fresh new ass face. It hasn't made a dent in all these years that she's been on our screen. Nothing has made a dent. Her daughter not talking to her and calling her out on social media for the world to see hasn't made a dent.
Her best friend having
just going to say that too. Yes.
Brain cancer diagnosis.
Yes.
She still has time to be a bitch to Gretchen Rossi. It's like,
and
wow,
I find
no way to get perspective for that woman.
Gretchen is someone who, I don't want to dig myself into a deep hole. I'll just say that she's not my people. She's not my people. She's the opposite of my people in so many fucking ways. And I think her life partner to date, Slade, I feel that everything anyone says about him is true. There's nothing redeemable about either one of them. I don't even know if I'm enjoying it enough yet to see the takedown of Tamra. These women, maybe it was the time that I've been watching him. It's been a lot. The gallstones, the realizations, the birthday, like having this depressive episode, like not even seeing Tamra getting taken to task is making me gleeful. So far, I'm grossed out.
Yeah, it is gross. They are gross. This season is leading with gross, for sure.
Emily's just pummeling Katie, even though Emily has done the same shit that she's accusing Katie of. And Emily just screams over it. And then she fucking she throws more food in her goddamn purse. It's just stop.
Oh my God, that's right. I forgot. You're right. Yeah. It's a mess.
It's a mess.
Yeah, and I'm really bummed out about Katie because I was really hoping she could be our hero, but it sounds like
TBD. I don't know. I don't know what to believe yet. I need more information.
I mean, she admitted already to some pretty gnarly stuff, and it does sound like, she's doing the semantics thing, which again, to me is the signal of a liar, and I hate a liar. It's like, you're right. You didn't have the blogger's phone number. That's correct. You called her on Instagram.
Right.
So sure, get off on that technicality, but like also fuck you forever if that's how you're going to talk to me.
Yes.
If someone says you called a blogger and she's like, I don't even have her phone number. Okay, you called her on Instagram. So I guess congratulations if that's how you you're too smart to do that. And I hate that. I think that's so cheap. Just own your messes. Clean them
And
up.
she doesn't have to be pristine and perfect in her behaviors to rationalize Emily's abhorrent, disgusting, hurtful treatment of Katie on that reunion downstage last year. I don't want anyone...
that was disgusting. I forgot about that. Oh, that was disgusting.
Fucking vile
Right.
and repugnant.
See, this is why we take notes, or why I take notes.
Motherfucking putrid.
Yeah, it was gross. You're absolutely right.
Katie may have done those things. It still, to me, is not as dirty as what Emily did and is continuing to do without looking at anything that she's done. She did a brutal, fucking disgusting ass takedown of a housewife. It was horrifying.
And Katie handled it.
I'd be embarrassed if I were Emily, but
gracefully.
she, as the youth say, she stood on 10 fucking toes, said it with her whole fucking chest, and give her the fucking raw egg to go at the end of it. Any bit of goodwill I have towards Emily Simpson is not only gone, there are not even vapors left. I feel for her child. She needs to take a season off and get her fucking head straight, dude. I don't understand why everyone isn't just like up in arms about how disgusting she is. Her behavior is, I couldn't even go that low. I couldn't, well, as Bose would say, it would just depend on who the recipient was, but probably not. Probably not. I don't know if I'm capable of playing as dirty as Emily Simpson is, regardless of if I think you deserve it or not. And I know that I don't get to decide who deserves what. I'm just saying, if I'm in the sickest of my sickest thoughts, I don't think I could do what Emily did last year to Katie. And it just started with nothing that makes me like Housewives. Reboot it. Start from scratch. This is not good. It's no longer good. I don't know. Maybe all these shows need to just like take their final bow, dude. I don't know. Reboots, TBD, if they actually work or not. I enjoyed New York, but I can see why people criticize it. This Orange County cast, so far, I'm really disturbed. It could change. I'll see. Didn't expect to rant like that.
They're not great people. None of them. Like, I think that's what's challenging.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Gretchen Rossi is an asshole, but like there's something about her that felt rebooty to me. It felt like a breath of old fresh air.
I hear you. I get it.
So I'll be curious. I'll still watch, but yeah, no heroes. No heroes in that
Absolutely
cast.
not. No, not one. Oh, how's Tamara's therapy working out for her so far? Constitutionally incapable? TBD.
I did kind of enjoy the immediate reckoning of that. You know, she had to go into therapy and be like, I guess I misspoke. And the therapist was like, you absolutely did. I never said you were on this. Fuck you so hard. Like, it was kind of satisfying because I'm sure the therapist was like, we need to televise this because you've now slandered my name, profession.
She had absolutely no reverence or respect at all for...
No. And then she just keeps crying as if that's like going to be her off ramp or whatever. Anyways, Orange County, what are you going to do?
What are you going to fucking do, man? Anyway, everyone, thank you. Oh my God, this ended up being a supercharged conversation about the Real Housewives of Miami on this episode of A Therapeutic Dose. Had no idea. Never know what's coming. I think I might know what's going to come out, but it ends up turning some way that I did not know we were going to go. And for that, I am always just excited. It's always fun.
Bravo, bravo.
Everyone take good care of yourself, even if that means, whatever that means for you. Let the bare minimum be a success.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's all I got, man. That's all I got. I got nothing
I'm breathing
else.
it in. I was quiet because I was like, yeah, listen to that. As they say, easy does it. Like easy does. Easy is what accomplishes it. Not the grind, not the consternation, not the anxiety, not the stress, not the worrying, not the regret. Those are all of my go-tos before like ease. What's easy? Start there.
I needed to
So I
hear that,
appreciate-
friend.
Oh, I'm literally repeating back to you what I heard
But
in my
you said
head
it
when
in
you
a
talked.
different way. You said it in a different way. Yeah. I love you so much. I'm so
love you
glad we got to spend
too.
time together tonight. Always an antidepressant when I get to talk to you, text you, phone calls. I don't give a shit. Face to face, obviously.
Yes.
Everyone, that is what I will invite you to do. Reach out to your people in whatever modality feels doable and just say, I fucking love you. You feed my soul. That's all I wanted you to know today. That's all I want you to know. I am able to transcend the low lows because I know you are there to love me through whatever.
Same.
You know?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
And we'll
everybody,
be back next week.
Yes. Have an easy week. And we'll talk next week.
For sure. All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Ramona and Margee are obviously not doctors and do not provide medical advice. Their content is intended to be used for entertainment purposes only. It is not intended to be, should not be interpreted as, or used as a substitute for medical advice or a diagnosis of any health or fitness problem, condition, or disease, nor a recommendation for a specific test, doctor, care provider, procedure, treatment plan, product, or course of action.
My mom isn't a doctor.